Hello aspirants, welcome to Title Chronicles by Abhiram IAS Academy. Ee roju Title Chronicles lo bhaganga we are going to discuss an important international organization, that is we are going to discuss about NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Enduku discuss chestunnamo, enduku news lo undi, what is the story behind this NATO, and also what are the member countries, now what is the transformation it is going to be done anedi nechukundamu. So first let's see why it is in news. It is in news because recently the 36th NATO summit have been done. The 36th North Atlantic Treaty Organization summit has been held where it is done in Ankara in the month of July, highlighting that, listen this, highlighting that a shift in transatlantic security. Shift in transatlantic security where the US is telling, United States of America is telling to the other European friends, other European countries to take the responsibility of the defense from now itself. Okay, ఎందుకు US చెప్తుంది, ఎవరెవరికి చెప్తుంది, what it is urging అనేది మాట్లాడుకుందాము. But why it is a news is that the 36th NATO summit, that is North Atlantic Treaty Organization summit, which is held in Ankara in the month of July, highlighted that a shift in transatlantic security, with the United States urging the other European friendly countries to take the greater responsibility with respect to the defense. This is the thing. ఏం అర్థం కాలేదు కదా? సో ఫస్ట్ ఇదంతా అర్థం కావాలి అంటే లెట్స్ గో బ్యాక్ టు ది ఇయర్ ఆఫ్ 1945. లెట్స్ గో బ్యాక్ టు ది ఇయర్ ఆఫ్ 1945. Now what happened in this 1945? 1945 లో ఏం జరిగింది అంటే సెకండ్ వరల్డ్ వార్ అనేది స్టాప్ అయిపోయింది. ఓకే, వేర్ సమ్ lakhs of population have been died. Some lakhs of population have been died. Then resources were ruined. Then comes a point that, then comes a thinking that, see, from now, ఒకవేళ మళ్ళీ ఒక వార్ జరిగి ఒక కంట్రీ మీద యుద్ధానికి వచ్చినప్పుడు అదర్ కంట్రీస్, వాట్ వీ షుడ్ డూ? Then came all the European countries together. Not everyone, but some of the countries who are interested, who got this thought, have been come together. ఒకవేళ యూరోప్ మీద యుద్ధానికి వస్తే ఏం చేద్దాం? There comes the thing that if a country is coming and making a war on other European countries, then ఒక్క కంట్రీ మీద యుద్ధానికి వచ్చినా సరే, ఒక్క కంట్రీ ఆఫ్ యూరోపియన్ మీద యుద్ధానికి వచ్చినా సరే, all other countries who are there in a particular organization will come and protect you. That is what, on basis of that thinking, a organization have been formed. That is here NATO. So understood? 1945 లో సెకండ్ వరల్డ్ వార్ జరిగిన తర్వాత the countries who have been participated, who have been lost the people, where the resources have been depleted, came together thinking that if at all మళ్ళీ ఒక వార్ జరిగితే, ఓకే, మళ్ళీ ఒక వార్ జరిగినప్పుడు మనల్ని మనం ఎలా ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకుందాము అని ఆలోచన నుంచి వచ్చింది నాటో. అయితే నాటో ప్రకారం ఈ ఆర్గనైజేషన్లో ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళ మీద ఏ అదర్ కంట్రీ అయినా వార్కి వచ్చినప్పుడు, if any country is coming to the war on one of the NATO member country, then all the member countries with respect to NATO, they will come to fight with you. Clear? That is what NATO's Article 5 is telling. That is what NATO's Article 5 is telling, and based on this, an organization is formed, that is NATO. To see more clearly, let's see in detail. A historic shift in European security. Now what is happening? Now what is happening? See, for almost 75 years, if we see this story, NATO form ayindi kada. NATO form ayyaka, now what exactly happened is that US told that don't worry, I am there here to protect you. As an elder brother in the family, US told that European countries or the member countries of NATO or the member countries of European allies, do not bother. I am there to protect you. I will give the defense. My military strength is very strong. So I will protect you. Sorry. ఈ 75 years వరకు when did the NATO has been established అంటే NATO has been established in the year of 1949. NATO established in the year of 1945. ఆ 1949 నుంచి ఇప్పటి వరకు what is US doing is that US is protecting all of the European countries by supplying the defense, by supplying the satellites, by supplying the infrastructure. Everything A to Z with respect to defense, military, everything now US has giving. Okay, I think all of a sudden మొన్న జరిగిన మీటింగ్లో what did US tell is that నేను నాటోలో ఉంటాను కానీ it's time to protect yourself. 75 years వరకు A to Z మొత్తం ఇన్ఫ్రా దగ్గర నుంచి మిలిటరీ పర్సన్స్ దగ్గర నుంచి మిలిటరీ డిఫెన్స్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ వరకు ఎవ్రీథింగ్ US have provided. What the European things, European friendly countries, what did they do? European countries ఏం చేశాయి, వీళ్ళు సరే యూఎస్ ఉంది కదా, యుఎన్స్ డిఫెన్స్ ఇస్తుంది కదా అని చెప్పేసి వీళ్ళు హెల్త్ పరంగా, అదర్ ఇన్ఫ్రాస్ట్రక్చర్ పరంగా, ఎడ్యుకేషన్ పరంగా ఇలాంటి డిఫరెంట్ థింగ్స్ మీద లైక్ దే హ్యావ్ బీన్ స్టార్టెడ్ దేర్ కీపింగ్ దేర్ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్. ఓకే, వాళ్ళ ఎక్స్పెండిచర్ అంతా ఎక్కడ ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేశారు? ఎడ్యుకేషన్, డిఫరెంట్ సెక్టర్స్ మీద, ఇండస్ట్రియల్స్ మీద, వీటి మీద ఇన్వెస్ట్ చేశారు. Now all of a sudden US said that no, now I will be a member of NATO, but మీ మిలిటరీ థింగ్స్ మీరు చూసుకోండి, మీ డిఫెన్స్ రిలేటెడ్ థింగ్స్ మీరు సెట్ చేసుకోండి ఇప్పుడు అని చెప్పడం జరిగింది అన్నట్టు. సో ఫర్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ 75 years Europe security rested mainly on one country, that is US. Okay, but today something historic is happening. For the first time since the formation of NATO in the year 1949, America is telling Europe that we will be a friendly country to you, we will remain in NATO, but from now you have to take the primary responsibility for defending your country with regards to your military, with regards to the military. So this is not the end of NATO, this is completely not the end of NATO, just US is telling that, which was like acting like a shield in front of all the European countries. Now US is telling that me military expenditures me pettukondi. Okay, but remember NATO's Article 5 will be still there. So the real question today is NATO will survive, but how strong it will survive. Okay, now again Europe must invest in defense. ఇంతవరకు డిఫెన్స్లో ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ స్టార్ట్ చేయలేదు, ఇంకా అంటే స్టార్ట్ చేసింది బట్ టు అ వెరీ లిటిల్ ఎక్స్టెంట్. న్యూ థ్రెట్స్, సైబర్ సెక్యూరిటీ, టెర్రరిజం అండ్ డిస్ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మే స్టార్ట్. A more unstable competitive world may become. Stronger transatlantic partnership stayed with more stronger responsibility today. So this is the story behind the summit. Summit ఎందుకు కండక్ట్ చేశారు అంటే from 75 years a protecting shield, which is United States ఇప్పుడు ఏం చెప్తుంది అంటే I have some more other interest. I want to concentrate on Indo-Pacific. I want to concentrate on the other powerful country which is emerging, that is China. Clear? That is my transformation. That is my strategic shift. I want to concentrate on this, not on the defense. So please, European countries, focus on your defense. That is what US telling now. Now, let's see the story of NATO again. After World War II, as discussed, after World War II, Europe was completely devastated with population decrease. More number of population have been died, and next, the mainly resources have been depleted completely. There was no proper economy. And also, World War II జరుగుతున్న సమయంలో two powerful countries have been emerged. One is US and one is USSR, Soviet Union. Okay, ఈ రెండు కంట్రీస్ పవర్ఫుల్ కంట్రీస్గా ఎమర్జ్ అవ్వడం స్టార్ట్ అయ్యాయి అన్నట్టు. నౌ USSR is emerging there. European countries had the thought that if again USSR comes to wage war on the European countries, what we should do? Then they formed, in the 1949, they formed a union called, or else a organization called NATO. ఈ నాటోని చూసి యుఎస్ఎస్ఆర్ ఏం ఫామ్ చేసింది? యుఎస్ఎస్ఆర్ వార్సో ప్యాక్ట్ అనే దాన్ని తీసుకొచ్చి ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లాగా ఫామ్ చేసుకుంది అన్నట్టు. ఇటు సైడ్ నాటో, ఇటు సైడ్ వార్సో ప్యాక్ట్, బట్ రెండు సైమల్టేనియస్గా ఏం జరగలేదు. ఇది 1949లో జరిగితే సమ్వేర్ దిస్ వార్సో ప్యాక్ట్ హ్యావ్ బీన్ సైన్డ్ ఇన్ 1955. సో సోవియట్ యూనియన్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ జరుగుతుంది అన్నట్టు. నౌ ఫియర్ ఆఫ్ సోవియట్ మిలిటరీ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్. Countries like Britain gani, France gani, Belgium gani, they have been come to a agreement and thinking. Then what is the thing formed? Creation of NATO have been started with 12 countries in the starting. With 12 countries. Will aim okate, will objective okate. That is only collective defense. If one NATO country is attacked, all the other NATO members will come into the force. Will come to support you. That is Article 5 of NATO. That is Article 5 of NATO. అయితే present situation చూసుకుంటే నాటోలో ఫస్ట్ ఎంతమంది ఉండే? 12 members ఉండే. ఇప్పుడు ఎంతమంది ఉన్నారు? 32 member countries are there. And here you go, these are your member countries. Okay, founding members ఎవరంటే, founding members గుర్తుంచుకోండి అట్లీస్ట్. బెల్జియం, కెనడా, డెన్మార్క్, ఫ్రాన్స్, ఐస్లాండ్, ఇటలీ, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, United Kingdom and US. Mali oksari remember this founding member countries, at least Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Italy, Luxembourg, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, United Kingdom and US. And recently joined in a countries 2024 lo one of the member country has been joined, that is Sweden. 2023 ఫిన్లాండ్. ఈ కంట్రీస్ లైక్ ద నేమ్స్ గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, కొన్నిసార్లు ఎగ్జామ్లో అడిగే ఛాన్సెస్ ఉంటాయి. క్లియర్? వాట్ ఈస్ ద ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఫర్ కలెక్టివ్ డిఫెన్స్? ఫర్ కలెక్టివ్ డిఫెన్స్. నౌ where is the headquarters located? Headquarters is located in the Belgium. Headquarters is located in the country of Belgium. This is the NATO story. అయితే NATO ఫామ్ అయినప్పుడు the first Secretary General, Lord Ismay, have been quoted a beautiful thing, that is, he said that at that point of time, to keep Russians out, because USSR is emerging that time and there are chances to evade the war. So to keep Russians out, Americans in and Germans down. Because అప్పటికి 2 సార్లు వరల్డ్ వార్ని స్టార్ట్ చేసింది. One of the causes Germany. He said that to keep Russians out, Americans in and Germans down. Now, is this relevant today? Let's see. Keep the Russians out. Prevent Soviet Union expansion into the western countries of the Europe. Next, to keep the Americans in. America is obviously it is having greatest military strength. To keep America in. Ensure permanent American military presence in Europe, because America was the strongest military power at that time. Even now to keep the Germans down. German has started already 2 world wars. So Europe wanted to prevent Germany from becoming a military threat again. But today, if you see the reality, what is the thing? The thing is that keep Russia deterred, to stop something. Okay, to keep Russia deterred, America engaged and Europe be prepared. Now, NATO is telling that keep Russia deterred, to stop something. Why? అంత బాగా జరుగుతుంది, యూరోప్కి ఇంకా ఎలాంటి హాని లేదు అనుకున్న టైంలో రష్యా కేమ్ ఎమర్జింగ్ వార్ ఆన్ యూక్రెయిన్. ఓకే, 2022లో ఆల్ దిస్ స్టార్టెడ్ విత్ రష్యా evaded the war on whom? On Ukraine. Let's see the first map. I'll just show you the map, why it has been started this all. Sorry. Can you see this? These are your North Atlantic Treaty Organization countries. These are your North Atlantic Treaty Organization countries. You can see here Russia. You can see here Ukraine. Now, where is Ukraine standing? Ukraine is in between your Russia and your North Atlantic Treaty Organizations. So what? I think Ukraine, rather than being friendly with Russia, what it started? It started to do friendship with North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Okay, let it be. So what? The thing is that here, these two are rivals, not friends. Russia, that is almost your former USSR, and the NATO organizations are your enemies, are the rivals, not friends. So now if Ukraine is doing friendship with this NATO, it is becoming enemy. Okay, enemy's friend is again your enemy. So Russia invaded war on Ukraine. Clear? That is how it started. Now Europe was in shock. Europe was in shock that what if again Russia comes to evade the war on us? We have to be prepared. But at one point of time, it is very cool because America was there to protect. But now today, America is telling that please protect yourself. Okay, please protect yourself as part of that keep the expenditure more on your defense. See, now A to Z, America has provided. Now what Europe should do? Europe should strengthen itself from again the scratch. That is what happening. So, if we see the NATO's evolution, we can frame into three evolutionary processes. One is NATO 1.0, where it started till the year of 1991, the Cold War NATO between your European countries and your USSR. Heavy American dominance, nuclear umbrella by US again, strong US leadership. Yes, Europe depended almost entirely on America. Now comes 2.0 post-Cold War. After this, where USSR have been collapsed in the year 1991. Soviet Union has been collapsed in the year 1991. Let's see what happened after that. After that, Soviet Union collapsed. European cut defense spending. Europe thought, okay, my enemy have been destroyed now. It has been collapsed. It's not completely destroyed. Rather, it's collapsed now. So I will not have any harm. Okay, it went into peace. And it invested in other things like education sector, health sector, other private industry sector. It has been started to develop itself, where it is asking all the help with regards to defense from US. So Europe cut defense spending, invested and also invested in welfare. NATO expanded, where from 12 members now it is seeing 32 members. NATO is expanding. And also it established military operation in Bosnia, Kosovo and Afghanistan. And now the NATO 3.0, that is new era, what is happening here is Russia's invasion of Ukraine started fearing again the European countries. Because as we have been seeing, the bridge between here Russia, which is the most powerful country again, the bridge between here NATO and Russia is here Ukraine. Russia started waging war on Ukraine. So Russia's invasion of Ukraine changed the European thinking that war returned to Europe again. Europe realized that peace cannot be taken for any granted now. What is the thing now? It should be prepared for military purpose, for defense purpose. As part of that, NATO kept a meeting again. NATO said that in 2025, the Hague Summit made a historic commitment, that is, all the European countries should keep their domestic that is GDP contributing 3.5%. In their gross domestic production, 3.5% of the GDP should be dedicated to the defense. Okay, NATO member countries committed to increase the core defense spending to 3.5%. But see, the European countries have been decreased their spending of their money with regards to the defense. All of a sudden, 3.5% of the expenditure should go to the defense itself. That was the one thing. Now, Europe is rapidly increasing its defense expenditure. See, from 1% to today, it should invest to 3.5%. A little burden on Europe again. So, Germany is leading from the front now. It has been double defense expenditure since the year 2003. Now, it is reaching to 3.5 of GDP by 2029. In another 4 years or 5 years, it will increase its GDP. But by now, what if the other powerful countries will evade the war on Europe? Okay, as part of now, America will be protecting, but for future things, the defense expenditure should be increased. Now comes the Russia factor into the picture. Russia reorganizing for the confrontation. Everyone is increasing their expenditure. Now Russia also will increase. So, new military headquarters in western direction towards the western side. New military formations have been deployed. It is also increasing its military strength. New bases and infrastructure which are facing towards your NATO. Russia is in its preparation with respect to the NATO. Now, why is Europe activist? One factor is US factor, and Russia's invasion of Ukraine changed the Europe's security reality. Peace cannot be taken for granted. Europe is investing on its own what? Defense. In the defense. And US is shifting its power or its concentration towards the Indo-Pacific side and mainly towards your China also. That is the thing. And there's a quote like given in the paper that Poland's foreign minister said that Europe doesn't need investment like like crores and crores, but simply it needs the military investment or military defense security till where? Till as far as is it able to defend Russia. That is the thing. So Europe does not need to match American military power entirely. It simply needs to be stronger than Russia. That's it. Clear? That is the thing. This is with respect to NATO. So understood the thing? So let's have a small recap and then let's go to the next thing. In 1945, World War II has been stopped. Then comes the European countries together with 12 founding members saying that if at all other country comes, other powerful country wages the war, then what we should do? Then as part of that, they established something called NATO. What is NATO's Article 5 principle? According to Article 5 of NATO, if any country with respect to NATO members come into the war, is anyone evading war on this NATO members, then all the NATO members comes together and will defend you. Okay, will destroy you. That is the NATO's principle. Okay, at that point of time, what are the two emerging countries? One is US and one is USSR. But in 1991, USSR have been collapsed and Europe thought that now my enemy have been destroyed. So, I have to concentrate on welfare activities rather than spending on defense. Now, who was protecting this NATO? It was the US. Now, US have been shifted its strategy and it is concentrating on Indo-Pacific. It is concentrating on Indo-Pacific and other thing is it is concentrating on China. This is the exact thing happening. Okay. Now my question is, European countries, Russia, everything is good. If suddenly there is a war emerging on Indian side or the global south side, NATO, all the European countries, if all of a sudden, if any war is coming towards here, India side, And NATO member US is concentrating on China now, the Indo-Pacific side. What will happen? Is there any organization such that? I cannot tell completely, but there is one organization which can be protected, or where all the members can come together of global south. That is BRICS. That is your BRICS. Okay, see, NATO, BRICS are entirely different. One is with respect to the military thing. One organization have been established for military, that is your NATO. One is for economy purposes, that is your BRICS. But if at all, this is if again, if at all, is there any war coming towards our side, one organization, one international organization which can come together, that is your BRICS. Okay, now let's see with respect to BRICS. From NATO's transformation to the BRICS raising. Let's talk about BRICS. What is BRICS? Is BRICS the new NATO? That was my question. Is BRICS the new NATO? Mostly no, not mostly yes too. But where it can bring up the global south together, and it can establish South-South cooperation. It can establish South-South cooperation. This is what I wanted to tell. Now, if we see about the BRICS, before that, I brought a good quote from Kautilya's Rajamandala theory. What he says is that states have neither permanent friends nor permanent enemies. What it is all having is that permanent interest. Any country you take, they will not have permanent friends or permanent enemies. What they all have is only one thing, that is permanent interest. Alliance today, that is friendly today, may become enemy tomorrow, but the interest will not change. Clear? That is the thing. Now BRICS, as we have been discussed, what is BRICS? BRICS today increases it is reflecting the aspirations of our global south. As NATO is reflecting the Western security architecture, BRICS is concentrating on the economy. See, today world have been changed completely. Not only the military is needed now. What we need? We are increasing in cyber security, terrorism, global terrorism, and we are more focusing on artificial intelligence, semiconductors. This is a need of our. Okay, not the only defense is need of the hour. Combined with this all things. Okay, so there comes the BRICS. Before addition of South Africa, it is called BRIC. It is called BRIC with 4 countries. One is here: Brazil, India, China, Russia. Then later, South Africa had joined. Okay, and now BRICS is expanding to BRICS Plus. What is significance of BRICS? See, BRICS is representing almost half of the world's population, because you can see the highest population India, the highest population China, both are member countries. So half of the world's population lives in BRIC countries. That is, we are having more human capital, and more than 40% of the global GDP, more than 40% of global GDP countries contributed the BRICS. Now, BRICS is very larger than G7 countries. G7 countries are your developed countries almost, whereas the BRICS countries are emerging countries, but yet today BRICS is standing greater than G7 countries. Done? Why BRICS matters? Because it is promoting multipolar world order from your unipolar world order to it is supporting today multipolar, the voice of global south, strengthening the south-south cooperation, drives inclusive and sustainable development, and it is promoting the peace and the responsibilities together. This is the thing. This is with respect to the BRICS. Now, here comes a critical analysis that is BRICS and NATO same? Definitely, they're not the same because NATO has Article 5 and attack on one is attack on all. But BRICS is not having any such type of article. BRICS have no collective defense theory because it is clearly economy related. This is economy purpose related to increase the growth in economy. Next, integrated military command. NATO has integrated military command structure, but no, BRICS is not having because if you take India and China, a small rivalry is there between us. Not very small, but a big, that is with respect to border conflict. Border conflict is there between India and China. And also, though Russia is very good friend of us, but we are having a small differences in the friendship groups. Both the countries have different Western country friends and also different views. So, this is where the difference is coming. Common external threat. NATO has common external threat, but here BRICS is having BRICS is not having any common. It is having different interest, as you can see here. Strategic unity. NATO members share strategic unity and common values. They lack the strategic unity. BRICS is not having any strategic unity itself. Only for the economy purposes we have been emerged, for technology, for sharing of responsibilities, for promoting the peace. But if at all, maybe if any war is evading to the global south in future, maybe the BRICS countries can come together and fight. Now, why do we need to discuss about NATO and BRICS? See, where one, we're not member. In NATO, we're not member. But in BRICS, we are member. But see, US has changed its focus on what? To the Indo-Pacific. It changed its view to Indo-Pacific. Now, where is Indo-Pacific? What are the countries residing in Indo-Pacific? You can see India, China, Japan, Philippines, whatever the things, Indian Ocean plus your Pacific Ocean region. This is your Indo-Pacific region. Now, US is concentrating on two things. One is Indo-Pacific and one is China. If suppose, US is becoming friend of China, what will happen to India? India will be at a cause of danger. Again, friend's enemy becomes your enemy. Clear? So, at least now, India and China is having, like, it has been shared, its ancient civilization, everything is good, proper. A small border dispute is there. If US is coming and supporting China, there is an emergence of war here, and it is also concentrating on Indo-Pacific. Why Indo-Pacific region is very important? Indian Ocean side, Pacific Ocean side, mineral resources, technology transferring, net cable security. These all things will be there with the advantage of Indo-Pacific. Now US has come to know that if I spend more of my expenditure with regards to defense and protecting all the other European countries, I will become weak one day. My treasury will be gone. So, let me shift my strategy for concentrating in Indo-Pacific region and also in the China region. Now, where is India located? Where is our country located? In the Indo-Pacific region, and the bordering country, the neighborhood country is here China. That is why both BRICS matter, because in BRICS, India and China is a member. In NATO, US is the very strong military power holding country. That is why India today should keep friendship with the neighboring countries and also with the NATO countries. That is where the significance of the two international organizations comes into the picture. So, India's position. India should not, see, India should be competitive, but the most important thing is that it has to be cooperative. So, India today holds a position of cooperate with all, align with none, and serve the national interest, as no one is a permanent friend and no one is a permanent enemy too. So, India works with major partners, that is US, Europe, Japan, Australia. It has to make friends with all other countries. Not who is harming India, that is the other criteria. So, India is an active member of BRICS, Shanghai Cooperation Organization, and other South global platforms, where today India is standing as a voice of global South. And also, it doesn't choose one bloc over other. Okay, what is choosing is that the nation's interest. What is the nation's interest? What is the need of our? That is India is choosing. So, India has to maintain a balance between NATO, that is more US focus on Indo-Pacific as it is having. So, India should gain more stronger strategic cooperation with US, and also at the same time stronger global South, greater economic value. Today, economy doesn't depend only on the defense or military things. It is also depending on the technology transferring, like semiconductors, artificial intelligence era is increasing today. So it has to focus on its economy too. So India gains greater influence within the global South. So what is the balance? What is the rebalance is that Europe stronger in its own security, but US is focusing on Indo-Pacific. As part of that, India should focus on its defense, artificial intelligence, technology era, and space, cyber security things. Telecommunication should be increased. India should focus on this today. So neither, like it should not make rivalry with NATO or rivalry with our global South countries itself. It has to maintain the neutral balance. That is what we have to do. Maintaining neutrality is the need of hour. This is in detail, like it has been explained very clearly in yesterday's Hindu newspaper. Please have a look. This is all about the NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Please have a look. What are the member countries? What is the story behind that? And now how NATO is transforming itself. And it is concentrating on Indo-Pacific, like US is concentrating on Indo-Pacific and also China. So these two countries, like the organization, whatever has been mentioned, that is NATO and BRICS, these two are very important to India. Now what is need of hour for India? Please make a notes, have a look. Thank you.